So when I was there, it started trembling a lot, and I was like, okay, what should I do? So the lady attendant was there. She was holding her kurti like this and told that, okay, come, I will take you, I'll catch you. And the most important part that helped me was in order to how to deal with failures and how to deal with the victories. Once I got out from my interview, I was very sad that I couldn't answer the questions that I could have prepared more. I was blaming myself. So your SSP, it was filled with unpredictability and complete rawness. Karma is more than important rather than thinking of the fruit. Cherish it, cherish the process, and you will get whatever you want.
Jai Hind and welcome back to the show. I'm your host Nandini Gushwam, and today we have with us someone who is one of us. But what sets her apart is her dedication and inspiring transformation. With this, I welcome Arushi Pandey. Arushi has secured All India Rank 4 in Computer Science stream of Short Service Commission Women Technical 36 course entry in her very first attempt. She has been recommended from 20 SSB Bhopal. Arushi is a BTech graduate in Computer Science Engineering. She has been an active NCC cadet from 12 MP Battalion. She has also attended All India Thal Sainik Camp in 2023 and OT Attachment Camp Chennai in 2024. Arushi has also been a national level swimmer and a table tennis player. Here is something our viewers would find really interesting. Arushi has been hosting this show and has interviewed previously recommended candidates. And today, the tables have turned. So, Arushi, how is the feeling? How are you feeling today?
Today I'm feeling very great about it because earlier I used to sit there and now I'm sitting here. It's a totally different day and I've earned it. So I'm very happy about it and so happy to see you sitting there. I like your energy. I'm looking forward for the podcast.
So, Arushi, let's start with your introduction. Tell us about your family and what inspired you to join Indian Armed Forces.
Hello, my name is Arushi Pandey. I was born and brought up in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. I have done my schooling from Sharda Vidya Mandir, Bhopal. And later that, I did my college from Lakshmi Narayan College of Technology with computer science. AIML was my specialization stream. My family comprises of 4 people. My father, he is a private employee in a Nielsen NIQ firm. My mother is a homemaker. And I have a younger brother who is doing his BTech from IIT BHU. And the spark ignited to join the Indian Armed Forces was in my school days itself. I used to be very active in sports, and frankly speaking, I saw Bhag Milka Bhag, and I was really inspired by legendary Milka Singh. Later than I also learned about him and how his association with the sports and Indian Army that helped me incline my journey and path towards it. And later I started exploring more paths. How can I opt for and have a journey for the same? So that inspired me.
That was lovely, Arushi. So, Arushi, could you please share how your NCC experience was and how sports help you inculcate certain skills required in SSB?
So NCC was a long-awaited wish of mine since school. I There was no NCC collaboration in my school. Later in my college, I opted for NCC, and NCC helped me in transforming my life and my personality. Well, the kind of activities we do in NCC as of drill or as of camps and various other activities, it helps people to groom their personality. But most importantly, that I saw was the people that I met during my NCC journey, be it my seniors, juniors, and also the defense personnel that helped me throughout. So I'm very glad that I did NCC also because then and there I met Brigadier Sanjoy Ghosh. during a camp in IGC. He just lifted me from the crowd and motivated me. And after that, sir asked me that whether I can come up, and he chose me to be part of his classes. So we started in a group of four, and it continued. So I'm very glad I did NCC because NCC helped me meet him. And coming to sports, I used to play table tennis and swimming initially as a passion, but later it turned into a professionalism in class 8. So I started playing both parallelly, also balancing my academics. And the sports teacher and the kind of facilities I was given in my school was very outstanding. And even if there was something that lagged that can help me perform better, my school felicitated me with the same. So that, and for the sports part, since a very young age, I started playing it and going to different places and representing my school also. So it helped me have a social adaptability factor, and also a competitive spirit developed within me. And whatever I used to practice, I used to perform it in the matches and analyze my performances. So this kind of mindset developed within me. And the most important part that helped me was in order to uh, how to deal with failures and how to deal with the victories. So it helped me also to know that how you can lift up yourself and motivate yourself by just motivating yourself by saying few things or talking to different people. So NCC and sports helped me become a more confident person, and a person who is very extroverted, versatile. So it helped me try new things in my life. So it helped me with that.
That's really inspiring, Anushi. So, Anushi, could you please give us an overview of your SSB experience and your medical examination?
Okay, so my SSB was scheduled on 5th of July, and I filled the form in the appearing candidate because I was in fourth year, and I started my preparation in third year itself, being with sir, and it was a 1 year practice session that I went with him. Well, my SSB uh, came, and it was a very roller coaster of emotion that I was feeling because I'm going into it for the very first time. And it was a very long awaited dream that you will go to SSB and you will perform those tasks. So I tried to keep my mind in a calm and composed manner. And also, I was very excited to see the environment and also the ambience over there. And on my first day uh, for the tech entry, so my board was 20 SSB Bhopal, and 138 of candidates reported over there. Screened in were 38 candidates. So first day it comprised of screening processes. First was OIR. We were sitting in a room and a hall, and we were given instructions about the same. There were two sets, and 35 minutes each for the set was provided to us. We were able to complete it in the time, and they were easy to moderate level. And after that, we were given our lunch break, and a PPDT was conducted. So it was batch wise. We were distributed into the batch of freshers and the repeaters. So for the fresher part, we went in the room, and a picture was shown to us in which a man was jogging. His backside was visible. He was wearing white shorts and a sport shoes, and rest of the environment was very bushy. So it seemed to me a countryside. So I made a story on preparation on a half marathon, and there was a single person. I wrote my story and completed within 4 minutes. Later, after that, we are given time to prepare, and also for the meantime, other groups are also going over their group discussion. So in the meantime, I was preparing my speech and the narration, and I was making it crisp and clear. And after that, our GD started. We were 13 group of 13 people, and I was the last person sitting. So everyone started, and I was listening to them actively because we have to make a consensus story in the end. And after that, my narration came. I completed it in a minute time, and I continued the GD part. Well, the group was again split into two. Then we were merged again. So this was the exercise going in the GD. Then after that, the consensus came, a girl who was say number 19, she did that, and our PPDT was like that. After that, the results were declared and I was screened in. I was very happy because screening is a very uncertain process, we have heard. And but I was glad because I maintained my performance. I was confident, and I took on task at a time, and I was able to project myself in a good manner. So after that, we all screened in candidates. We go for our documentation later. Then next day was our psych test in the morning. We were asked to report at 6. Then our psych test started. So it was a very good environment. The details on the instruction were passed in a beautiful manner. So we were known that what is required and what is not. And the psych test was like that. The PAT stories were very challenging. They were challenging women emotions, and yet they are very day to day life photos. We have always experienced and seen it once in a lifetime, be it. And VADs were very common. And I did that, and after that, a break is given. Then the SIPs booklets were there on the table. We completed that. I was able to do 47 of them in the time given. Then we wrote our SDs, and psych test was completed. Later, we were taken out, and there was no time given, and I was called for my interview directly. So whatever I was wearing, I couldn't change into my interview outfit, and I was being taken to the interviewer's room. I calmed myself down because I never knew that I was test number 17 and test number 17 being called at the very first place. So then I calmed myself. I gave a word of affirmation to myself that I can do it, and I went into the room. It was a big room, and my interview, as I planned, it didn't go. It was a very challenging one. If you ask me, GTO Psych, our interview was very challenging because it's a fresher. The kind of question I was expecting him to ask was none the same. And he was testing me on the basis of how I can think, what is my thinking capability, how much pressure I can take. So in education, CIQ was given to me. After I was asked about NCC. So and later my interview went, and I will cover it in the later part of the when I'm going to tell about the interview. After that, the day was free, and then GTO 1 started on the next day, and we were divided into group of 7. And for the GTO 2, we continued for the same. And after that, the conference was has happened on the 5th day. There was some kind of an information was passed that it could be on 4th day, but it happened on 5th day. We were briefed that only few candidates will go through conference, but then everyone went to the conference. So my waiting time was approximately 2-3 minutes. I was sitting there. I was very nervous. Then in the conference, when their board of defense persons were there, and they asked me, how was your stay? How did you like it? Whether you have been into military station before? And I answered them, no, I have not. And then they asked me about how was my performance, how was my group, and anything that I can add upon. So this was my conference. Later, we were set in a room where results had to be announced. So um, a CO sir came, and he was standing right there, and he briefed us about, and then he told that we have total 7 recommendations, and I'm going to start by an ascending order manner. So you have to stand up and tell your chest number. And I was sitting on the chair, dead sunk. My soul has left my body. I was very scared, but then he told chest number 1717. So I thought chest number 1 has also been recommended, 7, and also I am on the line. So I didn't got up. Then he said again chest number 17. Then I was like trembling. I stood up and said my chest number, and it was a very amazing feeling. Like everything feels worth it at the end. And three were, uh, 4 were actually previously recommended, and 2 were the repeaters. The out of the 7 who got recommended. So it was a roller coaster, but I loved how the journey was. It was very fun meeting new people and also showcasing your skills that you have developed throughout. Now coming to my medical examination. So after the SSB, we are taken to the military hospital for the examination, and we are on the first day, some preliminary medical standard tests are done, and which I also did before going to the SSB. So I was within it, so I was not tense about it. But something that I identified within me was that I was overweight a year before I was planning to go into SSB. So at that time, I was 79 kgs and I started uh, doing running, swimming, and I quit the sweets also. So I did something because I wanted to reduce it as it was not very visible, but it could have affected my medicals. So I did that. And when during my SSB medicals, so I was unfit for 3 kgs of overweight. And later, 42 days are given to the candidate in order to again come to a different hospital, could be Delhi, Pune, taken by the candidate, and hence again go for the medical examination of the same that you have been declared unfit for. So after that I boosted up doing the cardio and the exercises, but there was no changes being seen. So I told this to Brigadier Sir, and then he made me meet Dr. Ritu Jain ma'am. So I went in under a few therapies, and I also continued doing the physical labor I was doing. And during my medicals, then I was declared I was 67 kgs, and I cleared my medical examination. I was more than happy, and after that I had sweets. So I was happy about it, but the medicals are done after it, and you get plenty amount of time even if you are declared for something unfit. So, well, in the end, to the medical section, I would like to add that if a candidate who has already been diagnosed with something and who has realized that this is something not up to the mark given a set medical standard by the SSB and the for armed forces you are going through, you can work upon eventually and simultaneously while preparing for your SSB, because few things are trainable, few things are not, and you can work upon it. And even if you're preparing for SSB, this can be taken care altogether. So all the candidates, you can do the same and it can benefit you and clear your medicals in a go.
So your SSP, it was filled with unpredictability and complete rawness. So Arushi, what according to you are the key elements of a PIQ form?
So PIQ form is a personal information questionnaire that is something which is given to the three assessors before you come in front of them. So that is a face of you in front of them. So you have to fill it in a very organized, clean, and a good handwriting manner. So before going to an SSB interview, you should always take out a print of a PIQ and fill it. Try to mention all your achievements and the things that you have achieved and make a temporary copy of it. Then, in order to find it, you should always look for how you can make it more organized and in a more structured manner. So that will bring out your organizing skill and the structuring skills. So while if a section is of sports, so if you have to mention 3 sports, so you can maintain 3 sectional lines, make it a columnar manner, and try to write in an abbreviated manner where you can expand those abbreviation under the PIQ form by putting certain signs on it. So it will be more structured, and hence there won't be decluttering happening. So a PIQ should be very structured, and it helps to and like it helps to get a vision of you, a face of you. So fill it in that manner. And also PIQ also helps in preparing for your interviews. So once you have filled your PIQ, you can make cross questions and also kind of question and assessor can ask. So that is where your complete interview is going to be from. It does play a crucial role, so you should always take and fill it very seriously.
So, how did you prepare for your psychological test?
For the psych test, I joined Sir Brigadier Sir in his classes, and we were 4 people together, and we used to practice daily. So for 1 year, I practiced daily on certain things that was provided to us by the sir. We used to practice daily a picture, a VAT was provided to us, and these classes were not about how to write or appear in a psych test, but generally working on your drawbacks and the kind of personality you have developed for the years. So once we used to write those stories, sir used to assess us, tell us where we went wrong and what is going in our mind that led us let us write those things in our story. So we used to work on a deep conscious manner, and it generally helped and clearing my mind. It gave me a better perspective and I started thinking in a more positive manner. So I used to do that. I followed him. And for the psych test, uh, a picture was done every day, so that was covered. For the bat, I used to practice bat in my own time. Like if I'm free for 15 minutes, I used to start a timed bat. It is available everywhere on YouTube or app. And I used to practice that. And what is coming to me naturally, I used to write it. And later that I used to get it assessed by the sir, and he points out. And sometimes I used to assess it. Oh, I could have written it better. So I maintained a register for VAT where I practiced across 500 of VATs, and I never revised them. I was just in the practice manner. I used to do it. For the SRTs, um, we were shown PowerPoint presentations, and you want no, and anyone can do it. So for the SRTs, bring out your natural elements that you have been through. If you have been in a situation, just bring out your natural elements and try to write it in a concise, structured manner. And for the SD, um, what I did was I went to my teachers, parents, and friends. I told them to write 10 adjectives for the positives that I have and for the negatives that I have. And I also worked on the negatives, that why the person is saying that I have that kind of an element in me. So I worked on it, and also meant it helped me write my SD. So my parents wrote it, I structured my SD. My teachers wrote about me and structured my SD based on those adjectives that were given to me. For the for the friends, I did the same. And SD is a very changing thing, because till the time you come to your SSB, you will be able to explore yourself more, and more things will come about yourself. So just write it. It will give you a more clear picture about you and where you are going wrong and where you are going right. So it can help you build your confidence and also work upon your shortcomings. So I did that for my psych test.
All right, Arushi. So Arushi, how was your experience with the interviewing officer and the GTO tasks and group discussion?
Okay, so in my SSB, as I was telling earlier, that I will cover it in the later part. For the interviewing officer, I the how I imagine my interview to go as a pressure, it didn't went like that. So it was testing me, and so I went into the room. He asked me a few questions that I would like to mention. That, tell me, Arushi, where are you from? A very informal talk started, and okay, tell me something about Bhopal. Where is your school? Where is your college located? How far are both of them, and what are the places that you can explore in Bhopal. Later that, he asked me an education based CIQ, that about my education, and he also combined my family members and friends. So I gave my answer. Then he mentioned the fact of NCC, that okay, tell me and describe what is an NCC flag. So I did that, and then after that he started pointing that, no, you have missed out on something, try to mention it, try to um, recall it, maybe I should say. And but then I was very confident that I have covered everything. And he asked me about what kind of weapons you have fired in NCC. So uh, generally everyone fires .22. During my OT attachment camp, I also got to fire INSAS, and on simulator I fired AK and LMG. So I also memorized the characteristics of the various weapons. So I told him that. Then he went into the deep of asking the operations and the principles of the same. What is the material that is used to make those bullets? What is the working principle of the same? And he asked me that. And later he asked me, why are there only 17 directorates in NCC? So this is something that I never questioned myself also. So I started thinking, and I answered on the basis of, sir, cultural diversity, or on the basis of how they were during State Reorganization Act. Then he said, okay, think of something more. Then I thought of, after a few seconds, I gave the answer that it is on the basis of the number of cadets and the number of units in a particular directorates, they are clubbed henceforth. So he said, okay, now you have thought. Then he started asking about what kind of arm you want to join. I answered Army Aviation Corps. He asked me what kind of helicopters are there, uh, characterize them, differentiate them, what kind of weapons are attached to the attack helicopters, and also what is done by Army Aviation Corps. Then he asked me about that what are attack helicopters used, how are they used in the army. So they were not very GK based questions. They were something, yeah, generalized question that what kind of perspective you have developed while learning about all these arms. Then he asked me difference between infantry and mechanized infantry, what kind of weapons Indian army use, and he also asked me about what kind of aircrafts Indian Air Force has. And after that, he asked me that um, what, how did you prepare for CDS? How did you prepare for your AFCAT? And he also tried to know what are my other options, plan B, plan C. And he was trying to pressurize me, but I have always dreamed of going into the Indian Army. So I told them that I'm preparing for the same. So he asked me what next. So I said recommendation. So he said, no, not like this, in future. So I told him that, sir, if I get recommended today, uh, I will I'm more than happy, but if not, I will prepare again and come back. So he said, okay, if not, Indian Army didn't choose to take you, what you will do? So I told them that I have a job that I have got from my college. I will join it and gain experience and grow in that field because I have interest in AIML as well. So he said, then what if that job is also taken from me? Then I came back again. I will again prepare for Indian Army. So he was like, she is not fluctuate, yeah, yeah. So after that, like these questions were very impromptu. I was not given a second to think upon it. And then he started asking more geopolitical questions to me, like what is the location of Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, South China Sea, the islands in the South China Sea. What is the influence of it to India? So were you well prepared with that? So for those questions, I knew only the basics of it, but deep knowledge was lacking. So here I started developing pressure within me that I'm not able to answer in a full-fledged manner. So it happened with me, but then I coped up, I kept my calm and delivered whatever I knew. Even if didn't knew anything, I said, sir, this is all I can recall for the same. And he asked me about Strait of Malacca, String of Pearls, and why did Hamas attack Israel? Why do you think that he was able to attack in that uh, in that intensity? I would say, and why did Pahigam happen? How India should prepare to be more self resilient. So these kind of questions were asked to me later. Then uh, he came to the PIU and asked me about table tennis tabla. I play tabla, so he asked me what kind of wood is used in tabla. Why is that drum small and the other drum is big? What kind of material is used in within it? So I answered that. Then for the table tennis, he asked me that if there are two teams A and B, 5-5 each, they are playing league matches, then a cross happens among the two teams at the top. How many matches is going to be played? So, and then he started saying only 10 seconds you have, now 4 seconds, 5 seconds. I have to do the calculation. And then he also uh, started solving it on the paper to know that if my answer is right or wrong. Then he asked me what is the dimension of the room, basic mensuration based questions. And yeah, so my interview lasted for 1 hour, 15 minutes approx. And then he said that this is all. And once I got out from my interview, I was very sad that I couldn't answer the questions that I know could have prepared more. I was blaming myself, but then I was like, okay, this part is done. Let's move forward because GTO was aligned for the next day. And I was very confident. I love going on the ground and doing things. So I was very excited about it. For the GTO, we were distributed in group of 7. For the first tasks was the GD. So the GD topics were that if there is a crisis and a hotspot going in Middle East, what do you think are the main uh, what are the main reasons for it? So our leads was that it is due to the leadership, it is due to the nuclear deterrence that the Middle East countries want to resist, or it is due to stabilize their economy. And others were women related GD, that the women are facing little tough time in coming out and representing themselves. So what is the best lead that we want to support of urbanization, legal reforms, and security? So we discussed upon it. Everyone came on a mutual consensus that we will let everyone speak. So it was a very peaceful group discussion that we had. And for the GD, I prepared beforehand that certain topics are available on the internet. You can prepare them and have in mindset, have few facts in your head that you can put within. And otherwise, the GD topics are something that you have discussed before with your friends, family, or seen on a YouTube platform discussion going on. So they are naturally very common to the people. So you can prepare your facts, figures. You can know about how is India doing with education, women, and agriculture, security, and economy. So you can have your points prepared beforehand. But the next part was GPE. So GPE I have practiced with sir a lot. So a time practice that I have, GP is all about time. So time practice was done beforehand, and the rest my GP was, it had so many tasks, so you have to structure your tasks, and I was able to complete it in time. When GD happened, I was nominated to deliver the common group conclusion GP. I did that, and there NCC helped me where during the flag area when we learn how to breathe really. So I use those technique and it tell me. Then after that PGT happened and HGT. So these tasks were this happens in the group. So a basic knowledge of fulcrum and how physics works should be taken by the candidate itself. And to me, it was coming to me naturally. As soon as I was looking at a structure, I was able to know where I have to place the plank, where the bully has to be kept. But then during the GD, I wanted the group to be along. So I listened also the other candidates' ideas. We worked as a group, and then we were able to complete 3 of the PGTs, and HGT was completed in the time manner. After that lecturate was scheduled. So for the lecturate, I got the topic 4 on the card. First was India and its neighbors. Second was freedom of speech, boon or bane. And third was kitty party. And fourth one was a low level topic of favorite sports, I guess. I could not remember it. And all the topics were very common, like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Viksit Bharat, Digital India, semiconductors. And these are the topics that are going on, and they're available on the internet. So you can prepare beforehand. So I used to maintain a register where I had written approximately 30 topics. So I had a view that how you can structure your lecturate, and I did that. For the next day was first task was individual obstacle. So I was little scared about the commando walk. So why am I so? Because it's very heighted, and I cannot balance myself and starts flickering a lot. So well, I did 8 out of 10. For the commando task, I would like to tell something that when I was on my commando task, we were asked to say our favorite actor's name. Okay. So when I stood there, it didn't shake. So as soon as I stepped on the last step, few of the helpers are aligned. So these are the women helpers in the SSB. They stand so that they can protect you. So when I was there, it started trembling a lot, and I was like, okay, what should I do? So the lady attendant was there. She was holding her kursi like this and told that, okay, come, I will take you, I'll catch you. So that time it was very funny to me, but then I did it. Commando work was completed because so much Josh is there, and I said aloud Vicky Kaushal, and everyone of the candidates were laughing, and I did 8 out of 10. I was happy with my performance. Later was command task. So command task was something where I was called before by the 4 of my group mates. So now my command task came, and the GTO sir took me on a walk. He started me asking that where have you come from? How did you prepare? What is going in Middle East? Was trying to know about me. Just rate your group, place people on in a sequential manner, name top 3 candidates. So this was few questions that was asked before my command task.
Can we say this was because he wanted to test you? Are you a
Could have.
team player or not?
Could have been. So it was like that. It was very new. I've never heard. But then my command task started, and everything, it was a tough one because there were many moving structures. So you have to work according to that to fix your moving structures. You have to look for your balance, support everywhere. And he was putting a lot of pressure rain also started coming. So everything was going against me. But then I kept my calm throughout, and I was taking help from my uh, group mates also, and they were telling me. So we did it together, and I led the command task. I didn't let them speak in between, and then I did it, and it was completed before time. So sir said, "Okay, you have done it successfully. I grant it to you." And for the FGT coming, so FGT, um, it we completed in 3 minutes. So by the end of the GTO, you are able to understand that how things work, and our GTO ended like that. So this was something, and I really enjoyed GTO.
And basically, they were trying to test your presence of mind. Yeah. Are you in there, like in the moment?
Yeah, I think I left a GOR. So GOR is the best activity that happens in SSB, and that is the most fun, where you come along with a team and you do tasks, and it is something that fills you up with energy, enthusiasm. So GOR is the best task that I did in SSB.
If you would like to break down your success into three key qualities, what would they be?
A very good question. So if I have to break it for the three qualities, first would be the confidence that I've developed with the constant practice I have done for the same. So, if a task requires something, I try to do it before in hand. So it gives me a confidence that I have done it. I can do it in the final take also. Second would be resilience. It was developed during my sports when I used to play a lot. So I used to get very perturbed about the fact that I lost a match. I couldn't win a medal. But then every time I used to come back stronger and perform better. So resilience helped me with it. And third one would be the team spirit or the versatility. A group comes together, it brings out beautiful result. So during NCC also, and during the sports that I've played, constant team spirit in order to boost your uh, teammates, and how to bring out everyone's best in the best way manner. NCC and sports help me. So these three things that I inculcated, I think these are the three core qualities.
And what about leadership?
So leadership generally develops when you have confidence, you have the knowledge, and you can think into the other's mind also. So obviously it is a very big and a crucial quality, but it is something that is being done by a candidate when provided with the same. Like during the NCC, even I was in second year candidate. I have led MPCG contingent in TSC. So a kind of quality must have been seen by my seniors and also the unit members. So I was declared the same. And also during the college, it held it was it was ever growing. So even if a person doesn't go into the leadership part, there are few core qualities one can develop and hence become a leader, not by just leading a group, by leading their own life in a better manner.
But Arushi, you just mentioned that it's important to be a team player, as in, it's also important to be a leader. But both the aspects, they're confusing. So how to balance?
Okay. So if I have to answer in a manner of SSB, you cannot be a leader all the time. You have to be a good listener when others are speaking. You have to be a good worker when others are telling you to do the same. And if the group doesn't have any idea or they are not able to progress in a manner, you can come up as a leader and execute your own ideas. So leadership also comes up that how you're able to manage the group, and also how you're able to influence them in order to make you follow. So a convincing skill also come. So you have to play your part required on the situation. You cannot be one every time.
You can't be rigid, you have to be flexible.
Better, like he said.
Right. So, viewers, as we've come to the end of this podcast, let's try to summarize the podcast and let's try to get some message out of Arushi. So, Arushi, what message would you like to give to our viewers?
To all the juniors and the viewers watching this, I would like to say that I had this motto that a goal without action is merely a dream. So, whatever action is required to achieve it, you have to give your all. Karm is more than important rather than thinking of the fruit. Cherish it, cherish the process, and you will get whatever you want.
That's beautiful. That's a very beautiful message, Arushi. Thank you. So, since Arushi, you've been talking about Brigadier Sanjoy Ghosh, sir, let's bring him on the show and let's hear from him.
I will be more than glad.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Nandini.
So, we've heard a lot about you from Arushi. Would you like to give us some insight on how Arushi was throughout the preparation, since you know her since 2 years? So, how was she during the preparation?
Okay, before I tell about Arushi, I would tell the viewers that let me welcome your new host, Miss Nandini Kushwaha. She must have introduced herself. She herself is an ex-NCC cadet, a air wing cadet who has been flying. But having said so, now that she has donned the role of being the host of this chat show, and she must have brought out number of interesting things. So I would wish, Nandini, that you continue in your endeavor in future in the same manner and get to sit more probable officers in future or good people from NCC to sit along with you and give various facets of life. Now coming to Arushi, as you asked, that what are my views or takes on her journey? Well, she must have told you something of her journey. But the main thing about anybody's journey while you are going for SSB or you are endearing to become an armed forces officer, it is not only for armed forces officer, it is for any success in life that you wish to achieve. They are taught of various officer-like qualities. You know, all the SSB aspirants, they home around all those 15 characteristics. And they don't understand those 15 characteristics are, applicable to anybody. Even Nandini, if you are not planning to join armed forces, but even of those 15 characteristics you are working on, you will be successful somewhere else in life, wherever or you are wishing to achieve it. So I have seen her gradually going through and developing these characteristics slowly, surely, one by one, simultaneously, increasing the tempo, then going down, then again achieving, and you follow the sine wave curve but stabilize at a time when you are about to appear in SS. So Arushi has very well gone through the sine wave curve, had her ups and downs, but slowly understood that the stability in mind is very important to achieve success in SSP. That being her strong point, I have seen her laugh, smile, cry, sad, happy, contented, and various kind of emotions which a human being goes through. And thus, having seen the entire journey, I feel contented and satisfied that the future life that is coming for her, she would be much adept in adapting to that future life with the learnings in the immediate past. That is the journey everybody should follow, and my message to all the viewers.
That's a really strong message, sir. Even I would like to thank sir that me sitting here, me sitting on that position, it wouldn't have been possible without him. The kind of opportunities and his time that he has provided to me and to all of us, it's very precious and sir is a blessing. Thank you so much, sir, for everything.
Thank you, Arushi, and thank you, Nandini.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity.
I believe this podcast or chat show that you are doing would be beneficial to the viewers.
Definitely, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, sir, on the show and Arushi. So, Arushi, you have been a BTech student, a dedicated NCC cadet, a national level sports person, and now All India rank 4. We, from the entire team of Enlift Hub, we would like to congratulate and thank you for coming to the podcast. And With this, I'm your host, Nandini Kushwa, signing off. Stay motivated, keep preparing, and see you in the next podcast.